Have you ever wondered or thought about how do you multi-app? Or even why multi-apping? Or even what platforms to even multi-app with? Then you also think about,
well, what type of orders do I actually need to take when I'm multi-apping?
and if you've been wondering the same thing, well, you're in the right place. Because we're going to cover these questions and a whole lot more. So stick around and let's get started. So let's knock out the first question. Why even multi-app in the first place? Well, it's good to not have all your eggs in one basket, because if you're just working from one app the whole time, you're just at the mercy of just that one app. And if days are slow and there's just not any good offers or orders, you don't have nothing to back you up. It's always good to have that plan B. There's been so many times when I'm actually trying to cook a meal and I figure out, oh, I don't have a certain ingredient for this. I'm like, crap. But I know, well, at least I can fix this day and then go to store tomorrow and get the ingredients so I can make that meal the next day. Well, just with gig work, it's great to have multiple apps. So if you're doing DoorDash, Uber Eats, Roadie, Grubhub, Amazon Flex, Walmart Spark, these are just some of the few apps that we can actually use on a regular basis. And so that answers the question, what apps do I use? So make sure, sign up for as many as you can handle and see which one is best in your market. And one of the little tricks that I've done in the past, especially when it comes to food delivery, I actually asked some of the managers and asked some of the staff of like, which food delivery platform do you have the most orders from? And most of them in my market said DoorDash. So therefore, I knew that was a no-brainer. Just because they said DoorDash was the best for their restaurant, that doesn't mean that I need to like throw away all my other apps. No, you have to and you need to keep them just in case. Because you don't want to be stuck like Chuck on a bad day or a slow day on an app. And another reason why to even multi-app is that you can actually pick really good orders from each platform. And you don't have to settle for those $2, $3, $4, $5 orders, but yet you can actually create a standard, then taking nothing less for $6 or $7. You can do that if you have plenty of apps to work with. And this will be more called of the cherry picking strategy, which most people say, well, that's dead now. But yet it's actually still possible. So that leads into the next question. What type of orders should I be looking at when I'm multi-apping? Because when you are multi-apping, you can be just a little bit picky. You can be more selective. And you can start taking some of these orders that could be more ideal of $1.75 to $2 plus per mile. And you can also bend just a little bit to $1.50. It all depends how busy is it in your market and what type of orders are actually rolling on through. Because you can actually see a lot to be busy and they're just throwing a bunch of crap against the wall. And you're still just sitting there just like, twiddling your thumbs, waiting for that good order. So it's not always the best thing just to wait for that excellent order, waiting for the banger order of $15, $20. You could be waiting a while, if not all day, and you'd be waiting for nothing. But even if you're just multi-apping, let's just say just maybe 2 apps, such as probably the best 2 apps of food delivery, which is DoorDash and Uber Eats. Let's just say you're trying to keep it simple. And maybe you're trying to get into Uber Eats Preferred Program or the DoorDash Dasher Rewards. You're going to have to actually adjust a little bit more of your strategy from this $1.75 minimum or even $1.50 minimum. You might have to just bend but don't break method, bending to maybe $1.25. And I know even some dashers, and I've even been guilty of this myself, of even going down to $1 a mile. $1 a mile, that is not good. For anybody to take this, it would have to be slow. It would have to be a slow day. Nothing is going on and it's still not a terrible amount of miles. And hopefully it's at least take you to a setup where you can actually pick up another order from that area. But there is a double-edged sword when we're trying to chase a tiered program or the Dasher Rewards program. But the main thing, a big thing is you really don't want to take anything less than $1 per mile, because this is going to be known as an upside down order. This is where your miles is over your money ratio. And let's look for this one at example. $7 for 12.6 miles. Ouch, that one hurts. This is clearly an upside down order that you would never need to take on nearly any circumstance. Seriously. Now let's actually look at a good order to take. Here is an 850 plus for 3.5 miles. How you doing? Now we're starting to get something that can work with me here. And also notice this is a plus, which means there is more money at the end of this rainbow. And this is the order we're looking for. Now let's go back into this upside down order, because there's going to be two scenarios where you might actually want to consider taking an upside down order. You're like, there's two? I can think of one. And maybe somebody's like, I can't even think of one. I can't think of a reason. Well, let me give you two. Let's say that you are on your way back home and you are a few miles out, but yet you get this order. Well, let's just say it's $5, 7 miles. But you notice like, man, that's actually really close. It's a few streets over from where I live. You know what? Pick up the $5. It's easy. Why not? Unless you just don't want to do it at all. Okay. But you know what? This is a way that you can take an upside down order. And here's number two. Let's say that you're outside of your zone, or you're planning on going back to your zone anyways, but you get an offer for such and such or whatever, but it's upside down. This actually happened to me before recently, because I actually got a catering order. I can't remember the exact price of it, but it happened to be over $25 for like 8 miles. So I traveled that 8 miles and then I delivered it. Then I got another offer. It was actually $7.50 for 8 miles. I was like, I wouldn't take this normally, but it's taking me right back where I want to be. So I couldn't help myself. I took it because it's paying me to go back, because I don't have to worry about the dead miles. And you might say, oh, what's a dead mile? Well, a dead mile is all those miles that you're actually traveling back to where your hot zone is, where your restaurants are. So if you get the opportunity, get paid to go back, go for it. Does that turn my $25 into $32 in like an hour? And with that out of the way, let's just continue to talk about multi-apping. Because when you're multi-apping, you want to make sure that you have all your apps on all at the same time, or at least as many apps that you can handle. Because if you can only handle 5 or 6 at a time, okay, cool. But if you're trying to do 10, you might be just a little bit stressed and going a little crazy. So only take as many as you can handle. Now let's check out a couple of my apps. Now we got Uber Eats right here. All you have to do is press go and we're ready to rock and roll. Now most of the time, it wants me to actually verify maybe my face, or it might actually want me to verify what vehicle I'm driving. And what I do here is I'll go ahead and go to DoorDash. Then I'll go ahead and hit dash. Let's just say I'm going to dash. I'm just going to put, for grins and giggles, I'm just going to put 1030. And it's thinking, and it will finally go through one of these days. Maybe months or years. Oh, dang. It's still thinking. Okay, now we're finally online. So all you have to do when you're multi-apping, you're just simply toggling back and forth from your Uber Eats to DoorDash, and you pretty much have it. Because as those orders start coming on through, you're going to select the right orders that makes the most sense to you. And as you're waiting for that right offer, make sure you're in a good location, in a good market where you're going to start receiving some good orders. Also pay attention, what time of day is it? Are you outside the lunchtime hours? Are you outside of the dinner time hours? Are you within those main core hours where you can actually get some of those best orders that DoorDash and Uber Eats or whatever app that they have to offer? And another good key note is whenever I accept an order off one of these apps, I'm going to pause the other apps. And the reason being is because a lot of times I don't want to get caught up accidentally hit and accept another order on another platform, then I wouldn't know where I'm going. I wouldn't know nothing about it. How much is it? I'm already on an order right now. It would be a little chaotic. Then you have to use one of your unassigns from that platform. So try to remember to turn off your other apps as you go. Then when you get to your drop-off location, you can go ahead and turn your apps back on. And you also want to actually try not to dirty stack an order. You'd be like,
what's a dirty stack?
this is when you accept 2 offers on 2 different platforms, and to make it super dirty, they're going to go different ways. You don't want to do that, because then you're going to be late on one platform than the other, and you're going to start risking yourself of being deactivated, and you don't want that. Now, there are some scenarios where you might want to still call it dirty stack or dusty stack, maybe. Yeah, I just made that up on the fly. So if you accept 2 offers going in the same direction, it's not as bad, but you're still running that risk that you don't really need to or want to take. Have I done it? Yeah, I have, but it's not that often because I just don't want to risk it. It's not worth it to me. So as we're out there multi-apping, let's look at an order right here. Here's a Uber Eats, $10, 2.4 miles. That's not too bad. That definitely meets the threshold, so we're definitely going to be taking that. This is a good order, a good offer to take. Let's look at a DoorDash one. 1050 plus, 4.5 miles. Another solid offer to take. And I'm not going to leave you in suspense. I'm actually going to reveal how much I got from this order. That $10.50 turned into $12. And with these type of orders, it can really get you going on having a really successful day. And this is why we are multi-apping, trying to get those best offers. So as we're accepting these offers, make sure we're going to that restaurant, straight to that restaurant. We're not waiting for the promised time. We're actually not just waiting in our car, but we're going in that restaurant, asserting ourselves. Say I have an order for so-and-so off of DoorDash. And they may say, oh, okay, that'll just be like 2 minutes. That'll be, all right, that's reasonable. Now, if you're going over like 10 minutes, it's starting to be a little shaky now. And hopefully you're still in the area where you can get that worry-free unassigned with DoorDash. And there's going to be some times when they say 5 minutes, it turns into 10, and maybe 10 turns into 15, then 15 to 20. So make sure you're paying attention to your time, because sometimes we can just be on our phones and be like, oh crap, how long have I been here? Yeah, I've done it. But when you pick up the order, make sure you verify the order, put it into that insulated bag, and be on your merry way. And as you get to the customer and you're right there for the drop off, make sure you're paying attention to the instructions. Is this going to be a hand it to the customer, or is this going to be leave it at the door? But so pay attention to what the order instructions are, because sometimes you might get thrown a monkey wrench. They might say, hey, make sure you place it on the table. Make sure you place it at my garage. Or maybe it's a certain door on the side of the house. You never know. So pay attention, and this can affect your customer rating. Because if you don't pay attention, you might be risking it a 4, 3, 2, or 1 star rating. And you don't want that, especially something for as little or petty as it could be, where you could have followed the instructions and got a 5-star rating and maybe also a couple dollar tip. Oh, it happens. They'll send you a message to thank you for following instructions, and they send a little bit extra along the way. So whatever the customer instructions are, follow instructions. And if you want to learn more about how to actually explode your profits, check out this video right here.